Hey, Tommy, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Oh, perfect.
I
Awesome.
can hear you fine.
It's so great to
Good,
talk to
good to
you.
see you.
It's so great to see you, more importantly.
Yes, for sure.
How are you doing, my friend?
Well, it's been tough, being locked up with a beautiful woman who cooks incredibly and in a big, nice mansion in the Palisades. The only drawback is the maid only came once a week. Other than that, we're managing, hardships, but we'll make it.
Yeah, yeah. Has your life changed that much since being under quarantine, or it's kind of like just standard living for you?
I got a buddy. We're in prison together. He's a golf caddy, and we phoned each other. And we're laughing crazy because it was exactly like when we were locked up. The same is all you do is look forward to the next meal. That's all. While you're eating one, you're planning the next one because that's all you got to look forward to.
Yeah, and when people compare it to prison or to jail, what do you have to say to them?
Well, yeah, it is exactly because what happens is that you're free to do anything except leave,
Right.
and that's prison. That was prison. If you minded your own business, everything was fine. No one bothered you. Because when you act up in prison, which they show on TV, they only show the exciting parts.
Right.
But in reality, this is prison. Nothing to do, and you're just left to your own devices.
Yeah.
And you can read or play games, and that's a great thing. The Cheech and Chong game app came up perfectly, and apparently it's going crazy. The country has just been digging it up, and everybody's been trying it out, and it couldn't come out. Maybe this is why everything happened, so we could have a good opening for our app.
Exactly. And spend more time with your comedy records and watch your old videos and your old movies, right?
Yeah. Get to know Cheech and Chong and get to figure out what made your kids laugh so hard.
There you go. Now tell me, since all of these new orders and all these health restrictions and warnings that they feed us, have you changed your consumption in any way, or are you consuming the same?
Oh, you mean for weed?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I kind of started to ration a little bit.
Yeah.
I got a ton. I got everything. I got strips. The breast strips.
Right.
I did two. I did two last night, and I never got up. I got up about an hour ago, but I woke up in the middle. I woke up at 4:20. 4:20 this morning, and I text. I usually do a Twitter with the latest Trump episode. And so I did that for a while, and then I couldn't go back to sleep, so I went down and watched. I got a room downstairs, and there's only two of us. We got this 5-6 bedroom house, and so we get lost easy,
Sure.
I can go down up on. I got a roof. I got a roof that I got a garden growing up there. No, I'm really in heaven. I got to tell you the truth. I'm having a great time.
Well, that's good to hear, because a lot of people are living, as you know, in fear. And what would you tell those people, Tommy?
Read your Bible. Really, that's where all the answers are. See, we've had plagues since the beginning of time, and it's part of the human thing, and that's why these religions were started. So many of them, because of the plagues. Because the only place you could go to for help was God. That's the only place, and it still works to this day.
Yeah.
So what I do, I tell everybody, and you don't have to go through any kind of ritual or anything else. All you have to do is put your mind on God. And if you don't believe me, just ask any reformed alcoholic or reformed drug user.
Yeah.
The ones that have made it through to the other side. Everyone will tell you that until they went to God, nothing happened. Nothing good happened. And the thing is, you don't have to do any ritual or anything. All you have to do is think about God. And the best way to do that is with the Bible. Now, the way to, so, like a lot of, their Bible's so thick, and, when the people talk about it, and they got this, this opinion and that opinion and everything else. Here's what I do. This is the simplest way. Is just take the Bible in your hand, just open up randomly. Just open it up, and then look for your message. There'll be a message in there somewhere that will speak right to you, and that's what you got to do. Like that poem where it says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Well, who's thou? That's God. And there's just you. So God must be inside you. And so that's what you got to do. Just realize that you are a child of God. And you will be taken care of. Now, if you still, it's not that, just knowing this isn't going to keep you from getting any kind of virus or getting sick or protect you in any way. But what it will do, it will calm your mind to the point where you accept whatever is coming. Thy will be done. That's the other thing that you have to do. And no blame. Don't blame anybody. This is, if anything, blame the world for overheating and for for the pollution and for the burning the fossil fuel that caused all the that causes the climate change. You notice that we're not burning any fossil fuel now.
I know.
We're none. Yeah, oil companies they can't sell their oil. It's gone below plus. That's into the negative now. Which means that we the air is much cleaner. Everything's much cleaner, and people are nicer to each other, and lies get caught right away. You can't be lying like a certain guy does all the time.
You're so right when you say that. It's funny you say that, because I recently made the statement, and I thought it was pretty profound, that for so long many of us have been wearing masks, and now you can't wear a mask now. You can wear the mask to protect yourself in public, but a lot of masks have been ripped off.
Oh, big time. Yeah, it's reality time now, because it doesn't. It's not, this disease, this virus, it's not politically motivated. Well, in some ways it is, but it's not. It's not discriminatory. It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to get it. And the thing is, it's taking down poor people up quicker than but it's taking everybody.
I know.
Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a loss. And the other lesson that is taught that I think is that we are one of a kind. Each of us, we're very special. We come into this world alone, and we leave this world alone.
Amen.
And we're not really. We're not leaving. We're just leaving the physical world. We'll always be in the spiritual world. And that's what the test is. Because think about it. There's no right or wrong in the physical world. I mean, in the spiritual world. There's no up or down in the spiritual world. There's no side to side. There's just is. It just is. Yeah. But the physical world, it's a school. We're here to learn. Yeah. From the time you get born, the first thing you have to do is learn how to eat. You got to learn how to suck a titty. And sometimes it takes a while before the baby learns how to suck a titty, but that's the first thing you got to do. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's natural, but it's not easy. And from that moment on, we are in a physical world alone. We are alone.
I know.
Until you realize that we're all alone together.
Together.
Now, that's a different thing, see?
Completely.
We are alone, but we are alone together. And so look around, and you're blessed. Every one of us, we're blessed. We're blessed. And there's no blame. There just is forgiveness. That's the only thing that is asked of us. And there again, it's all written down. The Jewish rabbi that I follow every word that he ever uttered. and and here I am. I'm not saying, because of anything special that I did, other than I opened my eyes and I saw the truth, and I've been knowing the truth forever.
Right.
I have. I've been blessed, and I've been knowing the truth forever, and that's all. That's it. Don't. Everything happens for a reason. My son hates me saying that. When everything gets in trouble and everything, I'll say, well, that happened for a reason. He's Dad, I don't want to hear that.
But I agree with you, and I don't believe in coincidence either. I say to my son, there's no such thing as coincidence. Can you compare what we're going through now to anything that you've gone through in your life, your entire life, not being a young kid?
She contacted TB. And so I was taken and put in the hospital myself. I had pleurisy. And so I never hugged my mother that I can remember until I was 6 years old.
Wow.
Because she was quarantined. She was quarantined, and I was first of all, I was in a hospital, and then I was taken from the hospital right to a home, like a orphanage, and I was put in the orphanage. And so there's a couple of things I've never done in my life. Number one, when I was a little kid, I never rode a tricycle.
What?
Because they had toys for the kids in the home, but I was too small, and the bigger kids would hog the good toys, like the tricycle, and we had to share that. And so I never got big enough to be able to commandeer the tricycle. That, and then I never, like I said, I never hugged my mother. We would stand on the ground floor, and she's on the second floor, and she'd come to the balcony. They wheel out to the balcony, and we'd wave at each other, and I just remember my mother giving my dad a lot of crap because of the way we were dressed. Why are those kids in their new coats?
And what was she? I'm sorry, you cut up for a second there. What was the malady, or what was she battling at the time?
Oh! She had TB, tuberculosis.
Oh my gosh!
And she ended up getting her lung removed, because that was the only cure at one time. And then the same year they discovered this medicine that actually cured streptomycin, I think it was. But she went the rest of her life. She was like in her 20s, 30s when she got TB, and then she the rest of her life, and she died when she was 69, and she had one lung because they took one lung out. And so, I've been through the whole quarantine thing.
And being in prison, you've experienced all sides of it.
It's life. That's all I can say. It's very exciting.
Exciting, crazy time. And what do you have to say to people that want to get back out and restart the economy and get back in the public? Do you feel like it's time now, or do you think we do need to wait?
It's according to your faith. By the way, it's according to your faith. It's what you believe.
Yeah.
Individually. Like if you're afraid of catching something, you will catch it. Because the fear will create it. That's why you got to have faith. You got to have faith. Whatever you believe in, that's your faith. And if you believe that it's going to be bad, then you're probably right. It probably will be. So the thing is, we're individuals, and so you have to make that individual choice yourself. I know myself. When all this started, it was kind of funny. I was doing a podcast at a town. I thought it was closer. I can't hear, I can't see that well, but I thought they said Melrose, and she said Montrose. Well, Montrose is about 50 miles on the outside of LA. Right. So I got an Uber, and I got in the Uber, and I was eating a cookie, and the cookie, I breathed it down the wrong tube, Yeah. And so I had a coughing fit. Well, the driver, you can see that he got oh no, I got a sick guy in my car.
Oh no!
And I'm coughing and spraying everything, and he finally stopped the car. He says, "Do you need some water?" He said, "Yeah." So he got out of his car and went and got me some water. And thank God I calmed down. I quit coughing. But, you know, especially the old guys, you know, they know the signs, you know, of
Oh, heck
sickness.
yeah.
But the thing is, you don't I'm just telling everybody, man, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's a crapshoot either way, you know.
Yeah.
They found out on the beaches. You know, remember they had that spring break, and the guys going on, hey, yeah, hey, so what? Hey, that virus, yeah. And then next thing you know, he caught it.
Exactly.
And then he got on TV again, and then he's going, oh, hey, don't listen to me, man. I was wrong. No, it's not something to mess around with. But again, you got to go look inside you.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the answers lie.
And my last question for you here, and I'm so thankful to have this moment with you, Tommy, is have you been able to reconnect with people during this that maybe you haven't talked to in years, be it family, friends, people? Who are some of these people?
Yes, my first of all, my daughter, Ray Dawn, you know, all my kids are, or, you know, we're in touch all the time. But my daughter went on Ancestor.com, and first of all, we found out my grandmother was half Native. Now I'm trying to figure out what half.
Right.
And so now we got my great grandmother's name, Irene Dillon, Dillin. And so she was married to an Irishman, but she was half. Yeah, my great aunt was full. My grandmother was half. So yeah, we're finding out. Yeah, we're connecting with that, and so I'm finding out. I'm looking to have my own casino, you know, based on my native heritage.
Oh, that's amazing. It's got to be one of those weed casinos like Tyson's Ranch, right?
You think?
You think?
You've heard of a sweat lodge?
Of course.
Okay, well, I want to do one called a no sweat lodge. No sweat.
No sweat.
It's going to be the same. Yeah, it's going to be the same thing. A casino built like a sweat lodge, but you're not sweating. In fact, you're very cool. You're very calm.
Yes.
And very. Hey, and you know the other thing I designed before all this happened. See, I've got some answers. I really have answers to a lot of this problem, you know, the social problems. And one of the answers was I want to create a drive-in movie theater where the cars are permanent. And what you do, the customers pull outside the drive-in theater, park your car, or you take a bus, and then you get off, and then you come into the drive-in movie theater, and you go to your assigned car that you've already reserved. And it just stays, and it gets sanitized, and it gets cleaned, and it has an intercom, and so no hanky-panky can take place. You know, there'll be surveillance, you know, the whole time you're in the car, so you can't, like the old days, you know, driving movie theaters. It was where we used to take our girlfriends, you know, because we couldn't afford a hotel room, you know, so you could afford a drive-in movie theater ticket. But isn't that a cool idea?
That's an amazing idea, and it had to be induced by marijuana and cannabis, needless to say.
Oh, you know it, everything, man. And I realized I got an answer for the waste problem. You know, all the plastic and that. What I want to do, I want to build mountains of waste. That's what they did in Rome. I was in Rome scouting a movie one year, and there's a big mountain right in the middle of the city practically. And I said, what's the name of that mountain? They said, oh, that's the garbage dump. That's where the ancient Romans piled their garbage. And all the years went by, and it solidified. It became like rock and dirt.
Yeah.
But it's a garbage pile. So what I want to do, I want to take all the waste and all the plastic and everything else, and I want to build mountains. And like you scoop up, you know, when you scoop up leaves in your yard, you know, you leave mountains of them. What I want to do, I want to go to poor countries or, you know, like near the sea, and build these plastic mountains, recreation mountains, by the way. So they're plastic on the inside, but they're dirt and rock and everything else.
Oh, okay.
And then it's a mountain, so it's all recreation and campgrounds and a refuge for wildlife refuge. And it's also because you can plant trees in mountains. You can plant them, because they're not just a hot sun. You get shade, you get height, you get all sorts of, you get weather.
Yeah.
And so I would like to see these mountains planted all around the planet. And what it does, it provides employment. It provides, like a rainforest, and it provides water, because I'm going to I'm near the ocean, so that you can pump the ocean water up to the top of the mountain. And then as the water comes down from the top of the mountain, it cleans itself, it goes through various filters until it's, by the time it hits the bottom, is totally clean. And like I say, it's a recreation mountain, so you can climb it, you can, hike it, you can live in it.
Surf the ocean, get Kelly Slater involved.
Exactly. And what you do, you get fresh water, because fresh water in any desert creates paradises. That's why the Egyptians were so wealthy back in the day, because they had the Nile, and the Nile would overflow and it would flood all the fields, and the fields would grow the food, and the food would create employment. And,
yep.
And then they had the art, the pyramids, to create employment, because that's the secret. To me, that's the secret of our planet now, because we don't need coal miners anymore, but we do need artists. We do need artists, and we need grunt work. And I also got another idea, but I'm not going to tell you on this one. But it's how to deal with the immigration problem. But it's so genius that I don't want to blow it. I don't want to blow it here. But awesome. I'm going to do it.
Take it to the right figures, the right people that can move the needle for you, not me.
Yeah. And I'm taking a thing from Trump. It's going to be my name. I'm going to have my name all over.
Chong everywhere. Chong.
Yeah.
Chong Palace.
Like on buildings, the Chong way.
Of course, my friend, and I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. It's really been a pleasure and insightful and inspirational, and I look forward to seeing you sometime soon and going on a tricycle ride with you.
It's going to be, to this day, I still haven't ridden a tricycle.
I'm taking you on a tricycle.
Even a big one. I was thinking, there's a few things, that my childhood, I never got when I was a kid. And that was a sense of clothing. My earliest memories was wearing stuff that was given to me by the home.
Right.
Like I never had a sense of this is my shirt, this is my pants. It was like when I left the hospital, I ended up in the home, and they took my new clothes, which my dad had bought for me, and they took my new clothes, and I never saw them again. And then they handed me a pile of home clothes.
Hey.
They've been washed and right. It was actually, it didn't matter to me.
Yeah, you don't know what it is.
No, I was a kid, but I realized that there's a lot of things I don't have ownership feelings for. And I realized that's one of the reasons. I was really institutionalized right from my earliest memories. So that's why I could cope with jail so easy, and that's why I can cope with this coronavirus right.
I learned that from this entire interview, and thank you again. For someone who does sometimes struggle with a little bit of fear, you're helping me cut through, and thank you, my friend. We appreciate your time, and much love to you.
Okay, you too, man.